So the challenge was to read particular sections within the Bible and just kind of talk about it, just to open up dialogue, conversation, and whatnot. Um, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's really it. I don't really profess myself to be any kind of religious leader or anybody. I'm just a man with ideas, and these are just my 2 cents. Um, yeah, these are just my 2 cents. So it's not really worth much, but it might be what you need to complete your transaction. And whether that's a spark of an idea, a nudge of movement, any sorts of energy towards activation, towards your better self or towards your benefit, I'm grateful I could be a part. Um, so let's get into it. I'll probably doing this on the cusp, on the fly, kind of. So I'll probably read it out loud and then just kind of talk about it. Um, I'm pretty familiar with the text, the whole thing, the whole book of Proverbs. I've read through it before, but you know, just sharing ideas. It says the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction. Oh, I meant to put it up. That's what I meant to do. Skeet skirt, skeet skirt. There we go. All right. To know wisdom and instruction, to receive the words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom, justice, and judgment and equity, to give subtly to the simple, and to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and the man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. I think that particular section of it just kind of illustrates the setup. It kind of tells you what it's building. To know wisdom and instruction, to receive the words of understanding, to receive the instructions of wisdom, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Like these are the principles of understanding what these proverbs mean, or to grasp realization and ideas, to take time to sit with information. Like these proverbs is densely packed with information. And these are some of the things that you receive: the justice, the judgment, equity. And to the young man, knowledge and discretion. Like these things are important in building anything. And then it wraps up with the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Um, when we come to the word fear, it's not really a word that we tie to the expansion of ourselves, but there's a level of understanding that with Lord comes law. And there's a certain law that you have to be aware of, that you have to know exists, and that you have to know will respond to everything you do. And it is maybe the fool who doesn't understand those wisdom and instructions. Scrolling down. I should have set a timer. I definitely should have set a timer. Then we got this next section, kind of 8 through 19. In the version I'm looking at, it says the enticement of sinners. My son, hear the instructions of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For thou shalt be an ornament of grace unto the head, and chains upon thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thee thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privy for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive in the grave and whole. And those that go down into the pit, we shall find all precious substance. Oh, did I scroll? Yeah. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy light among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy in gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. This particular portion of it, okay, whatever that means. Right. I don't know when it cut off, but whatever. This particular portion of it, the enticement of sinners. I don't know if it's just the aspect of area of life I'm in, but as journeying through this entrepreneurial journey, this it looks to describe very well the corrupt nature of business. It says, my sons, I'm just going to go through it kind of verse by verse on how I see it. And these, like I said, just my perspective. My son, hear the instructions of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. I think that's important, just sitting there with that verse, because it differentiated how you receive that information. It says, hear the instruction of thy father. Implementing that is within you, these instructions come from. Like, you might hear something from someone. But in these instances, the enticement of the sinner is only the ideas in your own mind. So the father has to be the father. And then forsake not the law of thy mother. The mother is the womb. It's the carrier, the expression of which the father creates. And so even in the duality of the nature, you see that Solomon starts off with such an in-depth comparison or in-depth observation. And he continues it. It says, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Understanding that sinners, I mean, you can take it for whatever you want, but sin is just the misalignment. So the sinners is just those activities that misalign us. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. That innocent without cause hit, man. That really hit. Like, I know my brain, like, to be innocent without cause, that means you're just moving on the movement of effects. You have no certain self-identity to where you are making your movements. And that's generally what causes you to be innocent. You are unaware that you are just actively moving based on effect. And it says, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. That's a large group of people. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave. Like, that's so heavy. To swallow something alive as the grave means to kill them while they're still alive. To bury while still active. And whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance, and we shall fill our houses with spoils. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. As I go through the nature of trying to understand business and look at different businesses and how it works, you see this very parable within every, like, in so many ways. You see how the business model has been built off of the backs of the innocent. And it's just to gobble them up, to let them use all their life frivolously. It says, my son, walk not thy in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Like he gives you the reel of how they move. Like it gives you the structure of how the misalignment happens. And then it hits you with, surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Like you can see their movements very clearly if you take the right perspective. You can see how everything they do is in their own vein. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. Their webs are only constructed for themselves, and people like them. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy for gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Like I said, man, for me that I don't know if it's just the time frame in which I'm expressing these thoughts, but that's a framework of thinking that correlates very well with my journey through business. And everything has multiple layers, and so you can extrapolate it to whatever situation you're in at the moment. There's going to be some misaligning things that are going to sound good. But if you look at it from the right perspective, from that bird's eye view, from that higher consciousness, from that higher perspective, if you step back out of the situation, out of that circumstance, it'll be so clear. So clear. Then the final part goes into what is titled Wisdom Warns. Wisdom crieth out. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, there we go. Back at it. She cried in the chief place of concourse in the opening of gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorner delight in their scorning. The fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh, that's desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call unto you, and I will now not answer. And thou shalt seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hate knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear and from fear of evil. God dog, I can't read today. Wisdom is so important, man. This and this in this proverb, which I think is so true if you observe it, is that wisdom is everywhere. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of gates. In the city she uttereth her words. Like, it's everywhere. It is the subtle observation of what you know and what you can share and what you can observe. Like, it's everywhere. But it takes us to remove ourselves from what we're doing to ever notice. So how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? How long would you keep doing what you're doing or focus on what you're doing instead of focus on what I'm showing? And that's tough. Because if you turn, and what it goes on to say is if you turn at the words of which I'm saying, well, that's at the end. It talks about, before it gets there, it says, if you turn at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. I gathered a saying from ideas like this and scriptures like this is, you can either listen or you can learn. Like, you can listen to the lessons that life have for you when you're observing the natural things around you, whether that's conversation, whether that's whatever, reading, whatever. Or you can learn. You can miss those moments, and then life is going to show you regardless. And I think this coincides so well with this as it goes through and tell you, like, I will make known my words unto you. You can't move outside of the law. It's not even a thing. It's not even a thing. And so whether if you listen to wisdom or if you don't, it's going to be there to show you itself. And it goes on to say, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Because it becomes inevitable when you are not aligned with wisdom, when you're not aligned with truth, when you're not aligned with knowledge, when you're not aligned with faith, it becomes inevitable that the fear comes true. And even in and why I say that is because the misalignment of those things is fear. Like, the misalignment with truth is going to lead to being scared. The misalignment with faith is going to, like, you're only left with question. And so that's why fear comes. And so the activity of yourself, because you are a being of God, the activity of yourself is going to create. It's just showing you that wisdom's just going to laugh. So you can, like, create the chaotic situation and then cry for the wisdom when the chaos starts. But it's like, gee, you created that, homie. You could have did different. You could have done different. And he knew this even then. What some attest as the wisest man in the world put it in words. What is so evident in everything you ever did ever. If you sit down and think about it. If you sit down with it for a minute. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. It told you back in the beginning that the fear of the Lord, which in a lot of these instances is law. Lord is law. Not law, rules people make to control other people. That's stupid. Those are goofiness. That's goofiness. That's goofiness on goofiness. These are laws. Lord, create law. There's no way out of a law. No way. It's part of the design. And those that hated knowledge cannot accept it because knowledge is only built on the understanding and observation of the law. And that's why it's so counterintuitive to be in those misaligned fashions. It says, they would none of my counsel, they despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. Like I said, G, you a God being. You gonna do what it do. Whether the creation is fear, whether the creation is love, whether the creation is happiness, it's gonna do what it do. And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them. For the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearken unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. It didn't say it doesn't exist, but it's quiet when you're on the other side. When you're not sitting there in the expectations of failure, expectations of disaster, expectations of anything negative. When you expect the negative, you are unsure of the God being that you are. When you are unsure, the God being is still activated. So it shows you uncertainty. And that's wisdom. And she's always crying. Like she everywhere, G. I swear to God. No pun intended. But it's everywhere. And this is like Proverbs is such a powerful just passages after passages after passages after passages. So for me in this moment, whenever I read it, it feels real. And I have to make it feel real for it to be real. Or else it's just words on paper. It's just ideas expressed a long time ago. So in this moment, when I read this, that's what I feel. That's what's real to me. And if that's what's real to me, that's what's real to my God being. And that's what I'm going to create from. And so, like I said, it's just my 2 cents. It ain't worth much, G. You can leave it there. But hopefully, maybe something said sparked an idea, some nudge of activity in the right direction, some movement of energy for your benefit. Because that's all it is. In the house of solutions, all questions are answered. And that's a fact. It's all love always.